I'm the comeback king. I ain't missing a thing. If you're going to make it swing, you better make it sting. 'Cause I'm the comeback king. And this is it?
Corey Feldman.
The comeback king, it turns out. Michael Jackson's protege.
Yeah.
Have you seen that bit where he's saying, I took my tune to Michael.
I saw that.
Yeah, and he said, I'm going to take it to your man, head of CBS or whatever it was, and this is a #1 record.
Yeah.
But I said, no, Michael. If I'm going to make it, I'm going to make it on my own.
Well, that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Bit slightly tragic. But
it's a shame because I liked him in Stand By Me and...
brilliant in all the films. I mean, especially in Lost Boys and stuff like that, Goonies. But like we were just saying, it's got to be pretty awkward for that band.
Yeah, they'd be on good money because he stops the songs as well, doesn't he? Halfway through, and
yeah. Start again.
Don't start the track when I'm not on stage.
It reminds me of Life on the Road, the Ricky Gervais thing.
Yes,
I think the band are in the same.
Yes,
they're in the same space.
That's very. I hadn't made that drawn that connection, but yeah, you're right.
It's almost the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just going to say this is the first show we've recorded since we went to Gearfest, and that was loads of fun. Really cool. Met some interesting people.
We did.
Met some of you lot, which was cool. Didn't really expect to get recognised as much as we did.
Nope.
That was kind of strange.
Yeah.
But lots of really good feedback, so that's nice. Met the guys from Present Day Production, met the guys from Audio Animals. Loads of people, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was nice.
It was good. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Tower Yard, what a place.
Looking forward to the next one.
Absolutement.
Right.
So, SV.
Should we crack on?
Let's
crack on. Okay, so today we are looking at a new plugin from Plugin Alliance Brainworks.
Yeah, I can tell that from the GUI.
You can't you? In fact, the guy that now heads up Plugin Alliance did come over and say hello, didn't he?
He did, actually, yeah.
He did come over and say, you've been calling some of our plugins shit.
Yep. Well, if you put, a tuner on a mastering...
there you go.
On a mastering plugin, we're gonna take the piss.
He was a nice guy. We had a good chat.
He was a nice guy.
He was very receptive to making things better, so that's great.
Didn't get the beers in, though, did he?
Well, no. I think we'd done enough.
We had. True that.
So, this is the Brainworks BX Aura. And as far as I know, this is Brainworks' first reverb.
Oh.
So...
And they've called it an Aura.
They've called it the Aura. Yeah. So it's basically got 5 different algorithms. So you've got space, you've got room, echoes, soft and reverse. And they're all slightly different. Space are like real life spaces, rooms as it would imply, echoes as it would imply, soft. It's just very little, small subtle things. Reverse obviously is reverse. As you mentioned, it has that look of Brainworks are starting to use for most things, aren't they?
Look of bollocks.
Well, this is another one where I sort of don't mind it.
Yeah.
It makes sense for this kind of plugin for me. I think it looks nice. You can do the same thing again and change the colour of it to whatever you want, I think. But let's start at the top. So looking at the middle at the top, you've got, that is where it shows you which algorithm you're using. You can flick between them with those arrows either side. It has a freeze mode, which I quite like that. So basically you hit freeze and whatever the reverb is doing, it freezes and just keeps doing it. So you get those like forever lasting reverbs,
right.
which you can automate in your DAW. It's quite a nice effect. I like that. The modulation on the top left, always nice to add some modulation to reverb. Reverbs can get very resonant, but if you modulate them, that stops the resonance happening. Also, it was always a thing with lexicons. Lexicons always sounded cool because they had modulated tails. So it allows you to choose the amount and the rate, which I really like that. There's a low cut, really useful for reverbs. You always have to get rid of the low
cut, high cut.
Yeah, have to get rid of the mud. And you can choose whether it's pre or post, which I quite like. Obviously, like Dan says, you've got a high cut there too. That's also good. Sometimes you get very overextended highs with reverb, especially on vocals, so that's good to be able to knock it down a bit. You've got your pre-delay here on the left with a sync button, which is where it syncs to tempo, that's quite a cool thing. That could be useful. Pre-delay if you don't know what that is, it's the amount of time between something going into the reverb and the reverb starting. So with a vocal, you need sort of 20 millisecond pre-delay, really. Otherwise, you don't hear the words very clearly. The reverb is too quick. So you have a little bit of a delay before the reverb starts. And you can experiment with that with drums and other things. Diffusion, how much it diffuses. The size of the reverb, the width. Again, that's nice. Reverbs are starting to use more of that now. It's obvious that a bit of mid-side expansion helps a reverb. The mix amount, the pan. I guess you would sometimes want to pan a reverb. Not
a lot of
often.
these things, like the EQ and the spread and what have you,
Yeah.
are things that you would use on other plugins if you were using, for say, example, the Space Designer, aren't they?
Quite often, yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to give you all the tools you could possibly need.
That's a good idea, actually.
I think it works, yeah. You got the decay, which again you can sync to tempo. I like that. And then you've got this low multiplier and high multiplier. So that basically you set a crossover point, and then you can basically change the tail length for the top and the bottom, which is that's kind of rare.
Yeah,
I really like that. The fact that you might want the tail to disappear really quick on the low end, but keep going a bit on the high end, really nice. On vocals, that's pretty special because you can really home in on what's working. There's a drive section. I'm never sure I need a drive section. It's got 3 different modes of drive, which interestingly it does work sometimes. Not all the time. Bit of drive.
I can see that.
The gate section, really useful. We saw this on the
80s snare drums.
80s snare drums, all that kind of thing. But Safari pedals did it a while back, didn't they? Do you remember they added distortion in the gate to
They
the reverb?
did, yeah, and that was really good, wasn't it?
It was really good, and
Yeah.
this is similar. So you can set it up to gate or duck, and you can get some really interesting effects. Have you seen that video on TikTok where this guy shouts "duck" because he's holding a duck, and he's going, "Oh right, because I'm holding a duck," and then a duck hits him in the head. That's an awesome video. But yeah, this is really good. It's obviously like a normal gate. You've got a threshold, and you've got the noise floor. You take the hold and the release, and it's a useful effect to have. Sometimes if you just want the tail to duck out, you want the gate to chop off suddenly, like for that big 80s tom thing. It's a pretty well spec'd reverb.
It is, isn't it? They've given it some thought.
They've really given it some
How does
thought.
it actually sound in terms of richness and depth and the nice things about reverbs?
I think it's right up there.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a little bit lazy with reverbs in that I use the Logic Chrome Reverb for drums pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
I try other things. I don't often find something that I like more, and I tend to use the Relab Lexicon on vocals. Sometimes I'll use something else, but I don't drift far away from that.
Yep.
Playing with this is, I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to buy it, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, I mean, when it comes down to the price that all Brainworks plugins eventually come down to, that's when I'll get it.
Okay, wow. Blimey.
I think it's,
I mean, we don't actually review many reverbs, do we?
We don't, no. But it's, I just think that the amount of control you get, I think this interface works for it as well. It's not overly complicated when you look at it. It's nicely laid out. Yeah. So, as usual, you get the 14 days. How much do you reckon it is?
I reckon it's €69.
Well, you ain't far off. So it's normally $99. In the sale at the moment, it's $69.
Dollars, there we go.
But at some point,
It will drop.
it'll drop. You'll get it for $29 or $30, whatever. It will come down, and I would definitely
Consider having a go.
have a play with it. Go and download the demo. I think most people will go, oh, hello, that's a decent reverb that does pretty much all the different reverbs.
Yeah. Very nice. What, is it another presets? Do they take you towards what sort of reverbs it's trying to replicate, or are they just sort of more instrument based? And
There's a lot, and they're good. I don't often use a preset for reverb. I very rarely click on a preset and go, yeah, that's the one. It's pretty much easier to start with anything and then just edit from there.
Yeah. You mean you don't know?
I don't know.
No. No, I don't know. No. No. There's no. I've just ruined my intro to the next.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah.
They might not watch the next.
They might not watch. They're probably more likely to watch the beginning of the next one than the end of this one.
That's probably true.
Anyway, Sean, the
Brainworks BX Aura. Yes.
What's PIA stand for?
Plugin Alliance.
Excellent stuff.
Or Pissed in
Action.
Action.
Is it shit?
It is not shit. No, they've done another good one. They're on a bit of a roll, I think, at the moment.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, usual stuff. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, maybe become a channel member.
Check out the links down below for the Patreon and the shop and other various sort of links. Instagram, Studio Life 101.
Oh, and there's also a link now to my mixing course, which has been going really well. Lots of people signing up for that. It's 3 hours, 5 downloadable videos. Do it in your own time. Teach you how to mix.
Excellent stuff. Until next time, sayonara, suckers.
Adios.